I mean, guys, let's not forget what that is right there. Welcome to the show. That you just saw, that is the pyramid with the top cut off and being held up by Atlas. I am Atlas. Holding that bitch up. Essentially what I'm saying is these rich fucks, these manipulators will not be able to manipulate when you know what you're doing, okay? And that's the whole picture there, is me helping the little guy, the guy that doesn't know shit, the guy that's going, oh my god, this is my first week in the market, I'm losing all my money. Fucking horrible week, right? To get in the market. And here it is getting slaughtered again. And this is Ron, because he saw the video I posted, and I was telling him, I'm always right, always. He says, yes. I say, means never wrong, means perfect always. And he says, yes, girl. Disgusting. Okay, a bit deeper into the system here. One of the problems you're going to see here is that it's just collapsing, right? I actually played Apple calls for a second earlier, right when it touched that right there, right, and it touched that line. And now you guys are seeing why I used the 15 minutes. Let's just look real quick. If you were to use the 5 minute, I just want to show you guys. Look at how fucking lost you'd be. I mean, just seriously, look at how lost you'd be. Like right here, you would have thought, like, it is, you know, once it collapsed down there, that's a little harder to tell than just look at the 15 minutes. Very clear cut. Boom. Is what I was telling you guys. Remember what I said? Once it passes through to the opposite, the bottom of the Bollingers and gets trapped in that range, and then the EMAs work as a driving force downward. You're seeing it there. See how that's gonna, Apple's gonna go up right there. It's gonna touch that, and it's gonna get kicked back down. There's just no way around it. I mean, it's gonna have some trouble, because it's just a disgusting point of inflection. But I told you earlier we would look at CODX. Let's look at CODX. Well, CODX, not CODX. It's Code Diagnostics. I call it CODX for short. But so here we go. Looking at that, yep, you got a situation. By the way, I did want to point out INO, that fucker flew up all the way up to almost 10. But remember earlier today when I told you guys about the swoopy swoop? I love to call it that. It's so stupid of a name. But look right there, that swoopy swoop. Most people would have saw that and be like, I don't see what the fuck he's talking about. I was trying to tell you it was forming. There, boom. It was. I mean, the chart's almost exactly what I said it would be. It's almost something that I went like that and I drew it. Go back and look at the video. You'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, so it did it. And it looked like VR stem's about 298. I have an alert at 290, so I wanted it around here. I want it off there somewhere, off that 5 day, somewhere in that range. I may not get it, but my alert will go off at 290. Then I'll decide what I want to do. What Sorrento do? I'm only pointing this out because these are the ones that come in. It's still holding after this miserable day. I told you it would end up going to 243. Not bad, not bad. All right, so TVIX flying up exactly like I said it would. Up, there we go. Look, remember what I told you guys? It's gonna go up there and touch that, and there you go. Just go watch the previous video. You'll see what I mean. The one that says TVIX, DJIA, and Boeing, which of course I was Boeing. I told you that piece of shit would totally collapse. I said it would get rejected, and look at this disgusting rat's nest. Hold on one second though. Let's go look at Boeing's trash ass real quick. I just want to see what the options. Look at that, beautiful 646% return. Beautiful. It's exactly what I would have expected. Would have expected nothing less. I actually got the 255 alerted yesterday when it hit 33 cents. I swear to God, I saw it and was like, should I post this stock twist? I said no, because I hate all the bullshit. Oh, you're so fucking dumb, ain't gonna happen. That's why you guys don't see me on stock twists as much anymore, because there's just so much bullshit. So I figure I'll do these videos, post them, and be useful to the people that actually care, the people that are willing to learn. Okay, so where are we at? Let's look at CODX and see what's happened, or Code Diagnostics, CODX, real quick. Take a view of this, and there you go. There's that swoopy swoop. You saw it. So now it's going to want to go back up to 20, so long as the virus scenario happens. So you kind of need it, because see that swoop? Then it came up, it came down, kind of close that up a little bit just in case there was something there that was unfinished business. We saw that approach the 10, and then it does this massive swoop. Look at that swoop. I mean, it's only a 1 day, but if you actually look, this is what I mean by swoop. It only appears like that for 1 day, but if you look at the 5 days where you actually see the swooping, right? Look at that swooping motion. It doesn't appear to be swooping, but that's, you know, you have this right here. Well, why does it keep catching there and then there and then there? Those are the swoops we're talking about. Then you get the big drop, but no one could know for sure, of course, it was going to pop up like that. But looking at the 1 month, you definitely have a better chance of seeing how it could happen, because there's that return to resistance. I mean, forgive me, to support. And when it collapses, look at the shape that it begins to form in the lines. You're not going to see it in the candles. Guys, it's not going to be apparent in the candles. It will not be. But you, as long as you have your EMA line set up that way, you're going to notice specifically the 5-day bends beautifully in reaction to movements, right? It gets that swoop. Now, one thing you should look at when you're considering that is the longer term stuff, and that's where you start to see like $19 becomes a possibility on the Bollinger Bands again. You know, that could be a possibility, but I would rather see like look at the 5-year. There's just nothing there for it. So it's no wonder why it's so volatile and so capable of these blast off moves, because look at the 5-year. There's no story to be told. I mean, there's nothing to be told. It was high was 675, 685, and then it stayed down here stationary in that dollar range for so long and just absolutely blasted off. So I would suggest with CODX, just hold it. Hold it. If you already held it, if you had it, if you bought it on that drop down, hold it until it gets back up to like 17. Why not? Give it a shot. Sell some of it maybe. Altimmune was one I wanted to look at because I've noticed some action Altimmune. It was this devastating drop, disgusting chart, and then all of a sudden it does this. And this is where I'm paying attention to it. See how that swoop is forming right there? Do you see it? I'm assuming you guys are starting to get a hang of this in terms of the swoop in the chart. See how it's starting that swoop? Look right there. You can kind of see it because look at the angling of that. That angle right there where it goes like this and then it's a sharp turn in, and now look, it's getting that. Look right here. Boom, boom. And then you can kind of see it. Okay? Specifically on the 5-day. Look at that. Look at that. So what can happen here is now that those bitches are going again, you can see that breakup. The Bollinger will continue to go like that, and you could start seeing collisions with this up there as it's driven up like this into that range and back above 4. So watch for alt to go back above 4 if it can catch that. And then are we gonna break 1,000 yet? I'm thinking about maybe I have like $100. I have like $100 in my Robinhood account for just straight gambling on something that I wanted to gamble on. Well, one of my Robinhood accounts, and I was thinking about maybe, I don't know if I should just grab like the 300 and 302.50 puts or something. I mean calls, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's so trapped there, and I'm just really I played it today and got a little piece out of it, like a 4% return, but thank God I got up. But you know, this is totally a possibility at this point. It's when you look at that 6-month chart. Look at this 6-month chart. Look at that. Very scary. The 5-year's devastating looking in terms of I mean, devastating in terms of it looking like it's still, man, like it looks strong. It's getting the swoop itself, but that's long term, you know. That'd be like in the next 3 months you can get that. But see that swoop right there? Right there? That could be forming, guys. If that forms and you get that, Apple's going to be going back up to 340, 350 in no time, dude. So you got to watch out for Apple reversing. I almost want to buy the calls right now, the 302.50 calls expiring tomorrow. Like I'm talking about like an $8 pump back up tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. Where are we at? Let me take a look at the 5-day real quick. Could it break? It could break. If it breaks and goes to 261, which is where the Bollingers, where would that put it? That would totally collapse this line and put it back down to here. Let's look at the 1 year. So real quick, you guys are just going along this ride with me, kind of seeing how I do things. We're gonna take that. We're gonna make that a little bit. So here, let's drop this down to here and see right there. I mean, look. I mean, that's the scary thing right there, to be honest with you. Because look at that old resistance. I mean, that old support line. Holy crap. I mean, that puts it 220. Holy shit. 230 range? That's not good. Because if you duplicate that and readjust that upwards, look, this was the old line right here. I mean, look, you can take it right to it. That was the old line. It almost broke that line. So now maybe I'm wrong. You know, you got these coming down now. Up. You got these coming down now. They could potentially drive it back down to this, maybe to here, and then it gets some support. If that breaks, then the next one's around 230. I don't like that very much. I don't like that very much. I'm gonna have to be careful with that and not just, I mean, it's only $100, but I'm just saying, like, and be careful if I decide to do more or do something serious. Are we at 1,000 yet? All right, we're at 1,000 now, so we're down 1,000. I think it'd be Fuck it. I mean, what is it now? Let's just see for the 293.90, 293.86. It's gonna see it's falling faster now. Let's see. Let's see for the 302.50. Where are they at? 70 cents. The low was 60. How was the low 60? I mean, this thing's collapsing at an increasing rate. Right now is where there's low should have been. And what is there to help this thing? Oh my God, there's nothing. What about the 5-day? Oh my God, is it gonna try to close this gap? Dude, I just realized that there's a gap back here at 276 range. There's no way. There's no way. Would it really try to close that? I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Oh, it broke through. Shit. It broke it. So if it breaks it, then the next stop could be where? 286. 286. It broke it for now. That's not a good sign. 293. Well, actually, no, they're trying to hold it. It's right there. Sometimes when you see it go through, that's okay. That's just reactionary. I mean, that's algorithms kicking, spilling, resolving options. But it's not totally broken yet. If it goes back up, touches that EMA, these EMA lines here, if Apple touches these right here and cannot get back above them and get right here, see how it's coming with all that pressure? Think of that. That's all pressure coming down. And then this is going to come down, meaning the likelihood of it getting through that stuff is going to be way smaller. If that happens, then we could have a problem in terms of this reversing back up, and you might actually see a reversal into next week down to close that gap right there around that 276 range. However, I wouldn't get too scared of that just yet. Let's go back to the biotechs we were looking at. The next one we wanted to look at was HTBX, Heat Biologics, and then in that case they're up 37%. I would have told, I should have told you guys to buy this earlier, because look at this, look at that reversal back to the 5-day. All it did was come and close the gap. It just wanted to resolve the gap, which is totally normal for something to do. Look, you can see it right here. It just wanted to close this gap. Remember earlier today I was like this one, and this was one of the ones, because look, it was closing the gap, but I had so much shit to do. See right there, it just came down, it closed that gap to there, and look at how it never, not for a second, ever broke truly below the 7-day. It came down to the 7, which is the green one, but never broke it, and just continued up. If we take this out a bit further to a 1 month, you can see that's a bit scary. Often you see this for the selling. I've explained this to friends before. The Bollinger Bands can actually be used as a point of support. When something is straight up on fire, Bollinger Bands can become support. You can see it being used right there, in fact. See it right there? That's where it came back down to the top of the Bollinger Band. And the reason why, because shorts are just, I mean, people, this doesn't carry a lot of shorts. Let's see, its short volume is 0.2. It's almost nothing, but shorts pile on once it goes up 200-300%, which it has over the last week or so, right? Like once it goes from 20 cents to 87 cents in 1 day, 2 days, then the shorts pile on, and that's where you start to get the push above the Bollinger. Now what happens is the Bollinger becomes a point of contention, meaning once it goes through the Bollinger Band, now everyone's like short it there. Well, that's when the buyers are like, perfect, now we have another short squeeze, boom. And they play that game until that gets exhausted. With gaps being closed, this gap was never closed here, and I don't think it's going to be closed anytime soon, obviously. You got the gap perfectly closed back down to there over the 1 day. And, I mean, this thing looks very healthy, believe it or not. It's beautiful. Look at that run right there. It's going to get into some opposition here around the 130 range, as it did there in the start of the day when it went through the Bollingers. But look at how beautiful that was. Swoopy swoop. Look, always look for the swoop. You're not going to get here. Let's try to find a swoop on a 1 minute chart. You hear people talking about, I use 1 minute. Okay, well, let's find the swoop on the 1 minute. Okay, where's your swoop at? Where's your swoop? Everything looks like a drastic move straight down. And you're not going to see the bending of the EMAs. See the EMAs? They're all tangled up in there. There are no EMA lines. You can't get a feel for them because you've confused everything together by putting the time frame so short. Look, there's no support. Look at the EMAs. There's truly nothing. Now, go to the 15 and look at how beautiful that becomes. Do you see how pretty it is now? Now there's some space for them to breathe, and you're getting that. If you go to the 30 minute, you get a more solid uprising and stable line, but it doesn't tell you about the movements of it. You see what I'm saying? The movements are very pretty with the 15-minute on the 1 day, and that's why I use them. And what I mean by pretty is you're like, oh, that's a swoop, that's a top. You get the hills and valleys a lot more clean. And then of course, look at that top Bollinger Band at 125. Change that frequency to 30 minutes and look what happens. The top is always just there. You see what I'm saying? Whereas with the 15-minute, it's very clear that it was way up and it's coming down now. And so it lets you know that, hey, there is a top approaching, at which point another war will take place. Meaning once it's approached that and touched that line, shorts will jump onto short, people will buy to cover, and you'll get to see an opportunity presented again, either a collapse or a further break upwards. So I mean, what were we looking at, 124? Yeah, that's totally reasonable. 124. All right, so now we're back below 1,000, almost 1,294. I'm so iffy about it. Taking those 302s. Should I take the 302s? I mean, I don't know. It should, look at it, it's barely hanging in there, man. You'd only have to 302.98 right there. It almost touched it today. I mean, I kind of, so hard to say. 3 months. Let's look at the 6 months. What about the 6 months? Where do we have to move to? 6 months, not much. Look at the 5 year. 5 year looks like it's got potential to just keep moving up. It looks like it has support to go to 319 soon, like within a month. So I don't know. It's so difficult to tell with the big dogs, you know, because that's where all the money's at anyways. No one cares about these little ones. All the billions, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars are in the big companies. And then last but not least, real quick, let's just take a... Actually, we'll end this one because it's getting a bit long. I'll come back. I'll do Moderna. I'll do iBio. And I feel like that should wrap it up. I talked about alt immune, didn't I? Yes, I talked about alt immune with the potential to go past 4. So anyways, we'll lock this one up. I'll post it. Tag it to the boards, and then you guys let me know what you think. Be sure to tell me what you think. Like, if you think I'm full of shit and I don't know what I'm talking about, just let me know. I mean, so far I'm 100% this morning. I'm just stunningly killing it, by the way, I should say. Little 137, exactly what I told you guys. I mean, it's as if my balls are like crystal balls, all right? And I have the balls to call the future, and therefore the future happens as I said so. And that's what people find laughable. Look, that's the only things I called this morning are the things that are absolutely killing it, besides V-stem. But I mean, you know, it came back down to where? Look at that. It almost approached 290, which is what I was looking for, and it's still holding up well. So to be quite honest, of all the destruction and disaster and stuff, there's only 3 things I said I had some faith in, and they're fucking beautiful. They were golden today, and just stunningly beautiful. So there you go. I hope you guys appreciate it. Show mad love. Just tell me I'm the best that ever did it, the best that ever was, and then from that point forward, I will be great. I will be grateful to you peasants. No, I'm joking. I'm a peasant too. I love you guys. Peace.